Hispanics are causing panic, baby. Let's do it.
Good evening, everybody. I am so excited. I have an amazing guest, absolutely one of my favorite boxers of all time, Christy Martin. How are you doing this evening, Christy?
I'm well. I'm well. I'm hanging in there. God bless me. I woke up this morning and live to fight another day, right?
Absolutely. And so we were just talking earlier, we're both in hotel rooms. So our internet is kind of crazy. So everybody's got to bear with us. But before I begin, I know I've told you this before, but I absolutely love who you are. You are a role model, even though we're the same age. You are my role model, my strength coming up. We went through some of the same things in life, and I just absolutely think you're amazing. So I just want to put that out there.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And, I think that's really part of it. I don't think that as we live life and we move from, point A to point B, we don't know how many people that we affect or we touch, whether that be negatively or positively. So I think it's made me try a little harder to live a little more on the right side, I guess we could say, and fight a little harder just because I guess I have been blessed with having a little bit of the spotlight and stuff. So maybe more eyes are on me than maybe my neighbor, but I just want to be strong. I want to be strong for me, but I want to exude that strength so everybody around me can just become a little stronger.
We feel it, and you absolutely are. And I think in today's world, we need that. There's little girls everywhere watching the things that you do and other women do that are in the spotlight. I know that when I was growing up, I was in love with boxing at the age of 6, but there wasn't anybody to really, for me to look at that time.
Right.
My parents were like, absolutely not. You're a ballerina, you're a gymnast, so we're just so thankful. I'm so thankful that there are women like you and other women that are coming up, or little girls that are watching TV. They can look at you and say, I want to be like her when I grow up. If she can do it, I can do it. So I totally applaud that.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I think that the journey that I had is great for little girls to look up and say, wow, look at what she did. And it doesn't have to mean that I want to be a boxer, but if she was able to break down those walls and become a boxer, then if I want to be the president, that's the wall I can break down. That's, that glass ceiling I can break. So I hope it opens up minds to, I can be anything and that I want to be. Anything and everything that I dream I can achieve. I know we so much say little girls, but I really think it crosses over and just everybody and anybody that, hey, you know what, if she can do that, whether you're male or female, if she can do that, well, hell, for sure I can. So, I hope that, I hope my struggles help somebody else have a little more strength and a little less struggle.
Absolutely. I know personally they've helped me and they've helped others that I know and that I've talked to. So just keep doing what you're doing. And you haven't sit still. So I want to talk about your Christys Champs nonprofit.
Sure.
That really touched me. I'm in my first marriage was very horrible. And it seems as though sometimes we take on a role that we shouldn't, where we're ashamed or embarrassed and we feel like we can't reach out to anyone because of the shame. And so I think that your nonprofit is spot on. We absolutely need it. So tell us about it.
Well, Christys Champs is all about increasing the awareness of domestic violence, because so many people that are blessed that they don't have that going on in their house, or they maybe don't think they know anyone that is in a domestic violence situation. But that's the key. They don't think they know anyone. Everyone knows someone that is in a domestic violence situation, whether they realize they do or not. And that's what I want to do. I want people to be aware of, it's the little things, like you go out to dinner with some friends and the male or the female of the couple continually, jokingly puts the other one down. Yeah. Well, and maybe that's, at first you think this is a little banter or that's the way they're just playfully showing their love. But after a while, that's the beat down. And if it happens time and time again, and if it continues to happen in front of other people, you just start to shrink into the little shell and just, at first I fought back.
Yeah.
And then as you have to pick and choose your battles.
Absolutely.
And there were some fights that just weren't worth fighting, even though they were credible. I should have fought for it, but I have to pick and choose. Is that really worth fighting over? That put down? No, I'll take that one and let me wait for the bigger one. And so you just get used to being put down. It's like that whipped pup, you just
Absolutely.
keep be that dog. And the next thing you know, you've taken all the fight out of it. And that's what happened in my situation. I think that happens time and time, and people don't realize it's happening to them. And control is such a form of domestic violence that control, stalking, just someone that every time you look over your shoulder. In my situation, whether it be I went to get my hair cut and he would show up. I went to get my nails done, he would show up. I would go to Walmart and he would show up. I mean, that's stalking. It is stalking. And again, at first you think it's just, it's lovingly and he just wants to be around. No, that's not what it is. It's not right. You have to have room to breathe. All of us have to have room to breathe.
Absolutely. It's not normal. I mean, we all have a right to be happy and to feel secure and to feel good about ourselves, and we should lift each other up. And I just encourage anybody that knows anybody or that's going through something where it just starts with, like you said, the little jokes, the little put downs, and then it escalates, to go to your page, Christys Champs. You have a phone number there, and I'm definitely going to post it afterwards, or to anybody that's in your city or state, because we need to be protected. We need to be uplifted, and nobody should be in a situation that they're not comfortable with. Most definitely. So I applaud you for that. And also donate. There's a place where they can donate on your page, on your Facebook page. And I just encourage everybody to do that as well.
And what we're doing with those donations, just so people know, we're taking, because it's all about breaking the cycle, right? Little boys or girls, either one, grow up in a house where they see their mother or father getting put down or getting hit, or, it could be physical, it could be mental, it could be emotional. They see that. They think it's normal. They think that's what's happening in every house. So they don't know that that's not the way that they're supposed to act. They go to a relationship acting the same way. We have to break that cycle. So one of the things we're doing, we're putting computers in boxing gyms, in local boxing gyms, because, my love is boxing.
Yes.
But, my passion is domestic violence. And I have to help people become more aware. And so if I could marry the two, it's like, that's when I'm the happiest. So we're putting these computers into gyms. We are bringing mentors in, we're bringing tutors in, and we're really going to work on trying to break the cycle and just have different experiences. In Vero Beach, we're starting the program there. We are going to have the kids go to an auto mechanic class. Or not really a class, really just to an auto mechanic place, and they're going to be taught to change tires, check the oil. These are common things that we used to learn, but kids these days don't.
No,
but those just little things like that. An art gallery. We have an art gallery on board in Vero Beach. Cooking. We're just different life, just different life experiences that we need these kids to have. I know when I took my amateur team I was in Apopka, Florida, and took my amateur team to, sometimes we would go to Denny's after a tournament or before. And, I gave all the kids money so they could tip. And I explained to them how to tip and why you tip. And some of those kids had never even been to a Denny's. So we take those things for granted. These are, I hope, they grew and went through life and going through life, that they remember, I'm supposed to tip this person for the service. And those little life lessons that sometimes we don't get taught.
It's so true. That's beautiful. And, I have a gym as well. And we try to do that. It's like, you may not be a world champion, but you want to be a champion in life. So we have to teach them those little things, those little manners, the tipping, changing oil, a tire. I didn't learn that growing up. And it's so important. You never know when you're going to be on the side of the road by yourself,
Right.
So I love that you're doing that. I have a few comments. And so Kelly Pavlik says hello, and so does James Dominguez.
Hey guys.
Kano Local Sports says salute. Esmeralda, she is a great photographer for boxing. She does a great job. She used to box too. She was an amateur, and she says that everything you've done has helped her so much. Clarence McLean says you are the pound for pound best women's champion. I agree.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Yes, definitely. And Kashel Alexander says hello. So you have a lot of fans that are, you're fine. You have a lot of fans that are chiming in and wanting to see you. And so now I want to talk about, you have some boxing shows coming up, and I had the honor of interviewing two of the, I say kids, I mean, everybody's a kid to me.
I'm with you.
Under 40, you know.
They're kids.
Keon Papillon, he's going to be on your show next month, I believe, in February. And then Mia Killer B. Ellis, that's going to be on your card this weekend.
Saturday.
So tell us about these cards.
Okay, well, so you know, a little bit of what's going on is I'm actually right now in South Florida helping my former promoter Don King with his show for Friday night. So you know, it's really, I guess, full circle, right?
Full circle, yes.
You know, to be back with Don King Productions and be on this side of the fence. Even though as the day has gone along, I'm like, oh my God, I would rather be the fighter. It's so much easier and it's so much more fun. I mean. And plus, you get a paycheck at the end of the day.
Exactly.
So that's all good. But so King has the fight on Friday night here in South Florida, and then I'll jump on a plane first thing Saturday morning and head to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, where Christy Martin Promotions has a show at the Crown Reef in Myrtle Beach. We have 12 fights and 12 good fights. I just signed this kid, Victorino Gonzalez, that I'm excited about up in he's from there. Hometown, Myrtle Beach, and he's one of those kids that like really good puncher, really good boxer, young kid as far as pro fights, but he's ready to get on the gas. You know, he's not like you kind of have to hold him back. Exactly. Most of these guys, you push him, you have to push him, but you have to hold this guy back. So I'm excited about getting on board with him getting on board with us. The card's stacked. That card's stacked, and then we have. February 12th, we're coming to Orlando, Florida. And that's a little bit of a homecoming because I lived outside of Orlando for like 20 years and I get to see a lot of old friends and to interact and deal with a lot of people that I had back in the day. And one of the big fighters, two of the most popular fighters on that show are actually managed and trained by Ramel Renee, and he had Tank Lubin. Oh,
Lubin, okay. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And Erickson Lubin,
yep.
So, you know, former champion. So those guys are good. They're huge, big stars in their community already and just one pro fight. So I'm excited about seeing them. We have Keon on there.
Yep.
We have Vic's coming back to fight again, and then another young kid that I just signed, Jonathan Pierre, will be coming on. JP's a great man, and really he's a really good boxer, really good, but he's a better person, I think, and that was really my draw to him. But we're going to be on the ride with him for hopefully a long time.
That is so super exciting. It really, really is. You know, I just think it's so amazing the transition. You know, from boxer to promoter, because you know everything that you had to go through, you know the things that you liked and didn't like. So, I mean, I just think that that's like perfect. Absolutely perfect.
And I try to think of those things like, you know, I don't want to leave fighters standing on the curb at the airport because I remember, you know, how pissed I would be and how disrespected I felt. Like there's not even a car here to pick me up, or I don't even know who I'm supposed to call. So, and sometimes, you know, like anything in life, you mess up, you make a mistake, you forget something, for whatever reason, somebody doesn't get there to pick the fighter up. But I try hard. I try to make sure that the fighters are all treated with great respect and taken good care of at all my promotions.
Well, the promoters can take a lesson from you. I think that's great. You know, it still happens, everything that you're talking about, and they can definitely take a lesson. You know, I was watching some of your old fights because I love to go back and, you know, see the old fights. And Miguel Diaz and Kenny Bayless, they have been around forever and look exactly the same. I'm like, where is that fountain of youth? I need to go get a glass of water from that.
Right. Yeah. It's funny that like, yeah, you run into certain people and you're like, wow, it's 25 years later and they're just the same person that you saw 25 years ago.
It was so cute because the last time I ran into Miguel, he had LASIK, so he didn't have his glasses. I was like, "Oh, look at you! You don't have your glasses on anymore." Right. You know?
Yeah.
So I love it.
Miguel is me papi. You know, I love him, yes. And he's taking so much. He's taking great care of me, even after he was actually the first call I made from the hospital after I had been shot and stabbed. I called. The first call was to Miguel, and that call was to ask him would he train me, and he said yes, and so I was very excited. I was always close to him, but after that, there's a different bond. There's a different bond. I actually got to spend Father's Day with him one year since the shooting and everything, and I said to his daughter, I was like, Patricia, has anybody else, any other fighters ever been here to spend Father's Day with you guys? And she's like, no, Chrissy, you're different. You're different. And so your family, and I'll actually be with him on his birthday, February 21st. I'll be out in Vegas. So timing was perfect. His birthday. So I get to see him.
That's absolutely beautiful. I'll tell you something that really touched me before we wrap it up is at the time that all this stuff happened, you being stabbed and shot, and you called out to God, and you said, don't let me die. And that is such a testimony because if we all think about it, in our darkest moment, when we've called out to God, he has always been there. Yeah. He wants us to live. He wants us to be happy.
Yeah, there was no question. I clearly knew I was dying. I could hear my lung had been punctured and I could hear the gurgling sound. So I knew that, at some point you stop breathing. So I just said, and it was like I could see it right now. I'm looking through this vent in my ceiling, and it was like I was looking at God's eyes through that vent. And I just, please don't let me die and give me some sign to get out of here. And it was like, as soon as I said that prayer to him, I heard the shower water turn on. And when I heard the shower water turn on, I knew that Jim was in the shower. And it was like it was my clue. That was my time. God sent me the signal. I asked him for help and he sent it to me. And that was going to be it. I was going to get out or I was going to die.
Well, I'm so glad because he had great plans for you to touch other people's lives and for you to have some semblance of happiness and joy and peace. And I'm so glad that it seems as though you have that. And it looks like, whenever we help others, we get that, it's I'm getting emotional. I'm sorry. It's such a testimony.
What you put into the universe, you get out, you get back, right?
Absolutely.
And if you put good out there, you get good back. And that's what I keep trying to remind myself, just make sure you're doing the right thing and keep putting good out. So hopefully, you get some good back.
No, it's so true. It's so good. It's so true. I mean, they people talk about karma or whatever you want to call it. You do good, you get good, and that's what we have to do. So before we end this, are there any last words, any shout outs? Where can people find you? Tell us everything.
Yeah. Wow. That, all that social media stuff. And I really don't even like social media, but I'm on Facebook, Christys Martin, Instagram. I think it's at WBC Champ Christy. I'm not even sure what it is. Twitter. I'm on all those things. Just maybe you have to look a little harder than you want to.
Post it too. I'll post it too on the interview.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I gotcha. Definitely. Cool. Clarence McLean says, "We love you, Christy." Absolutely.
Thank you.
We do. Absolutely. And I just have to say, so one of my fellow USA coaches here, Tin Back, he said, you have to absolutely tell her that I love her and one day I want to meet her. So Tim, I did it. I hope you're happy.
Cool. That's, I need to come up there and hang out with you guys sometime.
You have to. I would love for this COVID stuff to be over, and I would love for you to be able to come and talk to these athletes because they would absolutely love it, and we would too.
For sure.
So we'll keep it
as soon as this happens, as soon as we're free to do that, let's get that on the schedule.
Absolutely, we're gonna do it. I appreciate your time so much, and guys, I'm sorry I was late today. It was totally my fault. Crazy schedule. But everybody have a good night, and thanks for tuning in. And Christy, I appreciate you so much. I'm going to be praying this weekend. Everything's a success. I know it will be.
Thank you.
Thanks to those joining me live and to those that'll be joining me, Raw Boxing NH and Chief Funky here on Archive. What's going on? We're being joined by the one and the only, the Hall of Famer, former world champion, current promoter. I'm running out of titles here. All right, but Christy Martin, how are you doing?
I'm well, hanging in there, trying to do what I do. Actually, I'm in South Florida helping Mr. Don King get his fight together for Friday night, which is exciting. It's exciting to be around. It's exciting to be around King and all the interesting characters that come along with that.
Well, hey, well, there we go. Learning from the best, I see, right?
Absolutely. I that's what I told him. I'm like, I only know one way, and that's Don King's way, because he was my promoter for so long, and how he did it worked. I mean, it says now social media has taken over and plays such a huge part in promotion of any event, but boxing especially. So I'm trying to cross over and do a little social media. But I'm like him. I need to see people eye to eye.
Of course, this Ronnie Hines is going to be on the card as well. What do you know about this guy?
Ronnie Hines has been around a while. He's fighting on a lot of the PBC shows. He's fought on my shows a couple times. He's one of those guys that's been around. We're going to see. It's time for Ronnie Hines to step on the gas. He's still fighting 4 and 6 rounds. So let's see. It's time to get with it or find a new job.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Time to take the training wheels off, huh?
There you go. Let's get with it. Let's get on it.
Hey, she is sounding like a promoter now. Okay. Kind of like the mama bird does. She just throws the birds off, see if you fly.
Right.
Awesome.
And that's what you have to do sometimes. You have to test these guys and see what they're really made of. Is this the career that's for you? Is this, are you going to be able to hang in there when it gets tough? Sometimes it gets tough. It's the guys are looking for the first way out.
Most definitely. Here's what I want to ask you about being a promoter. I mean, one thing I keep hearing from a lot of armchair guys here on YouTube anyway, is that the promoter as we know it is going extinct. That the route of boxers will be their own promoter. It's going to be the thing of the future. Well, what is it that people don't understand about the ground roots of boxing and why a promoter is still relevant and needed, in your opinion?
You're gonna always have to have a promoter, because they're gonna be the person that's the kind of the go-between. You have fighter A over here, fighter B. If they just leave it between the two of them, it may or may not ever happen. But with the promoter involved, they're gonna push for that money fight to happen, because obviously they're gonna make money too. And we just have to keep bringing the best bouts that we possibly can to the fight fans. That's why I feel like we've lost so many boxing fans. We're not always putting the best against the best. So it's easy for guys that just want to see combat sports to go over and watch the UFC, because they usually put the best against the best.
Well, there you go.
MMA, because I'm not a fan of that sport, but you have to give props where props are deserved.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I want to ask you about there's a card coming up, an all-female pay-per-view card. I just want to know what your thoughts on that is, because you were kind of that pioneer that was, you were the face of women's boxing. You were always on the big cards with Mike Tyson. Now we got a whole complete card with women boxing. Just give us your thoughts on that.
Wow. As a fighter, me personally, I just wanted to fit into boxing. I wanted people to walk away and talk about my fight as a fighter, not, wow, she was pretty good for a woman, or she, I want them to say, no, she's pretty good for a fighter. And I mean, I hope the all women's card works and for the promotion. I'm not sure that it's going to get the fans really excited, and a lot of fans will tune in. They're going to some fans are going to miss some great fights. But because it's an all women's card, some of the old school hardcore boxing fans are not going to tune in because it's all women.
Yeah, that's true. Over here on HCP, you know, we try our best to get the women on here to talk about their fights and get them some exposure, because we understand it's difficult, like you said, for them to get things going and get them off the ground. In your opinion, what do you think has to be done to get women's boxing at least back to where it should be, or better than what it is now? Because we're seeing women fighters like Claressa Shields, who was very accomplished. You know, she's talking about going to fight MMA soon because there's more money over there. So in your opinion, what do you think could be done to help women's boxing currently?
I don't know. It's boxing is such a hard sell, and then you take women's boxing, a smaller segment of it. It's even harder, clearly. But you know, we just need those matchups. You know, we need that one big matchup that's going to really shake up the world. You know, make everybody tune in and say, "Wow, women's boxing is really worth watching." And I mean, it took women's tennis a while to break over and really become, to me, I'd rather watch women's tennis than men's tennis. And I think a lot of tennis fans feel that way, but the same thing's going to happen with the female boxing. It's like, we have to start seeing great fights. And with that, you know, the major promoters, major networks, they have to start giving women a chance. But again, you know, you can't put, and another thing, like the sanctioning bodies sometimes are putting female fighters that have 4 to 5, 6 fights in a championship fight. That to me takes away from the title, and you just don't have enough experience to go the 10 rounds. So you might be really good for 4 or 6, but then the last 4 are kind of sloppy and boring, so you're not winning over fans. That's my opinion. That's just me. That's my opinion.
Did you get to catch the McCaskill Breakers fight? When McCaskill did the big upset, became welterweight champion?
Right. I actually have not seen it. I've read a lot about it, and yeah, they're doing a rematch, right?
They're going to be doing a rematch. And one thing I noticed about it, they're actually going to do it on the undercard of Chocolatito versus Gallo Estrada on the undercard. But that's, when you look at it, it's like a big card that Eddie Hearn is doing, and it's going to be a big event. Do you think women should, you know, do that a little more? Because it looks like they want the main event spot more now. You know, like Claressa Shields, she wants to be the main event. Like, you know, to give you an example, like Katie Taylor, she was on the undercard of Joshua heavyweight title fights, you know, and now, like, she's a big star. She's making over $1 million a fight now, you know.
Right.
Do you think it does help to at least start off on the undercard of the big male fights?
Absolutely. I mean, it doesn't matter. Whoever's going to bring the most eyes to the screen, you know, the most butts in the seats, that's the card you want to be on. Yeah, it's awesome to be the main event, but would you rather fight at a main event when you're the main event and you're bringing in, you know, maybe 3,000 people, or would you rather be on a Mike Tyson or Tyson Fury undercard, and you're, you know, it's hundreds of millions of eyes are on the event.
Absolutely.
It's a difference. I mean, I would be happy fighting on the undercard. Those big shows, you're making more money fighting on the undercard of those big shows than you're fighting being the main event on your own show, when you can't draw the number of people.
That's a great point. Yeah,
it's business. I mean, I love the sport, but it's business at the end of the day.
Awesome.
Now, you mentioned you're helping Don King. Like, what exactly are you doing? Like you're working on his card, are you the one handling everything?
I'm helping him bring some fighters in to matchmaking a little bit on the undercard with the fights, not the big fights, the smaller fights, just bringing people to the table. You name it, I'm trying to help him do it. I think that's the best way. You know, as a fighter, you want to be under a superstar. You want to be in the gym with other champions. You want to be in the gym with other great fighters so you can learn from them. This is the way I feel like as a promoter, kind of under his wing and on the undercard of a Don King production from this point of view, not from a fighter's point of view.
Okay. Go to Raw TV.
Christy, first of all, thank you for being here tonight, and a pleasure to meet you. One of the questions that we've been asking ourselves here in the pursuit of figuring this thing out, as far as how to get women's boxing where it should be, regardless of where it's been in the past, but where it should be is the lack of knockouts. And we've asked this to several women. Do you think that possibly moving the rounds to 3 rounds would solve these issues? For example, I had an interview with Sulem Urmina a few weeks ago, and she said that one of her fights, she heard her opponents four different rounds, and her opponents got saved by the bell every single time. You think a 3-minute round would be something that will boost female boxing up a bit?
Actually, I don't, because I think with the 3-minute rounds, and because of the lack of experience, that 2 to 3 minute, the last minute of the round, as the fight goes longer, you're going to see the women become more tired. And I know I'm going to get a lot of shit for that statement, but it's, I had 31 knockouts in 2-minute rounds. So, did I fight all good people? Nope. I fought some tomato cans too. But, if you have the power to knock someone out, you can do it in 2 minutes. You don't need 3.
Fair. That's okay. That's a fair assessment.
Yeah, Christy's like, get in there and get it done, huh?
Amen.
Yeah.
So I always say you don't get paid overtime, so knock them out, and get your check, go home.
There you go. There you go.
So definitely. So where do you see yourself? Say a year or 2 from now? Is this something that you're going to pursue as a this is what I want to be for the remainder of my life? I want to be a promoter. Is there a level you've set yourself to be as a promoter? Or is this just?
I don't want to just be, I've gotten a couple, like 3 years, I got promoter of the year in Carolinas, and got some recognition in Florida even, but that's not what I want to be. I want to be significant. I want to matter. And,
awesome.
And that's what I keep trying to find, that young fighter that I can grab onto and be the face of my promotion, and we can just grow together. Because I think there's nothing more awesome than to take that journey with a young fighter to a title. I know how exciting it was for me to get to fight in Madison Square Garden and go to Las Vegas for the first time and things like that. So to be on the ride with a fighter, it will be exciting again.
Awesome. So in other words, you are prepared to be that one promoter that boxing desperately needs, the one that's putting on the exciting fights. I
want to. That's where I didn't come here just to be a 4-round promoter.
Awesome.
I want to be one of the best.
It's great to hear that.
Do you want to work more with women fighters? Do you think you could be the right promoter for women boxers?
I'm not sure. I mean, I just want to work with fighters that want to fight, that can fight and want to fight. I mean, there's a whole big difference. That can fight and want to fight, and it really all comes down to who can put butts in the seats. And if that's a woman fighter that can sell out the house, heck yeah, I'm on board. But just to take a woman fighter off the street and to try to build somebody, I don't know. Just because it's a woman, no, I would not. If it's a good female fighter, yeah, I'm on board.
You want them based off merit. Okay, I hear you.
Right.
The fight card is on the 30th, guys. You catch it on that. The link is in the bottom there, bxngtv.com. And I also see the website's working now, ChristyMartinPromotions.com. Awesome. It's up and running now. Man, make sure you guys check that. You have any charities you work with or anything like that, Christy?
Well, of course, we have Christys Champs, which is my nonprofit supporting domestic violence awareness. Actually, we have a really awesome fundraiser coming up April 10th in Vero Beach, Florida. Black tie, and 150 people is all that's going to be able to be in the house. I'm totally excited about it. Only 4 or 5 fights, and we're going to just raise a lot of money for domestic violence shelters, safe space down there in Vero Beach, and have a great night of boxing, but really also hopefully bring more awareness to the community.
Awesome. You're getting some love here in the chat. You says here the battles you've put on the beach in Daytona have all been awesome awesome fights. So that's pretty good to hear from the public here as we hear you speak on in regards to what you do.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that makes me feel really great. The last card we had there, Battle at the Beach, we did at the Hard Rock Hotel over in Daytona in February of last year. We had Evan Holyfield on, Evander's son. Evander was in the house. John Ruiz came, and then we had 3 or 4 other little smaller belt champions. Alberto Palmetta and some of those guys were there. So it was exciting. A lot of energy and electricity to be with Evander and John Ruiz again, and then to have Evan fight on the show was pretty cool.
Man, that was like a Don King reunion there at Christy Martin, Holyfield, Ruiz.
Managers and promoters and people working the corner. I'm like, oh my gosh, the only thing we were missing that night was Don King.
Yeah. I want to ask you something. You mentioned you were doing a little bit of matchmaking for Don King. Now, often us fans, we get frustrated with the sport because the fights that we want don't get made. Could you explain to us a little bit how it works being a matchmaker? And is it a difficult thing to get matches done?
For sure, it's a difficult thing because it's not. These two fighters can want to fight each other. They're all, like 100%. Both fighters be in, but there's managers, there's promoters, there's TV networks. There's so many people involved when you get to that higher level. But even at like my level for the Myrtle Beach show, fighters want to talk the talk, but nobody, So when it comes time to really get in the ring, they don't always want to do that. A lot of fighters now are Facebook boxers, they want to show everybody else. They want to show their stuff off on Facebook. But when you call them and say, "Hey, I have a fight for you," they're like, "Oh, no, I'm not really ready." Like, okay.
That energy changes quick. All right.
Yeah, absolutely.
We have a question from the chat here. Sontel Media asks, how much scouting do you do for the Olympics? Is there anyone that's catching your eye in Team USA, or did you look at the amateurs a lot?
I haven't really. It's been a while since I really was able to be involved with the amateurs. We do have an amateur tournament in July. This will be the third year for Christys Champs amateur tournament. We team up with Harnett County PAL program it's right outside Fayetteville, North Carolina. Great amateur tournament, 3 days. We had over 350 boxers last time. We're really thinking close to 500 this year because of COVID. Everybody's been shut down, and these guys have haven't had an opportunity to really box. So we think we'll have a great crowd, and so that I get a little bit of exposure to the amateurs there, but not a whole lot.
How difficult has COVID been on you as a promoter, Christy?
It's way tough. I mean, so many gyms are closed. There's venues will not let people come in, or even in Myrtle Beach, I can only have 50%. So, of course we're sold out, but hey, we're not really sold out. So it makes it tough, and it makes it tough for someone like me that I live off of ticket sales and the few sponsors that I have. So it makes it really hard.
Yeah, I could imagine. So I want to ask you this just for fun. Now, late last year, we had a couple of legends come back into the ring, Mike Tyson and Roy Jones.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Would you consider possibly stepping back in for the right price and the right opponent and lacing them up one more time, Christy?
Trust me, every morning when I wake up, I think yes. But I had a stroke in 2010, June of 2010, actually before I fought Mia, or June of 2011, actually. And then I lied to the commission and actually fought Mia. So, and when I lost to Mia, I was like, I'm sorry, I don't really mean to disrespect Mia, but when I lost to her, I knew I was done. And that I should never have tried to fight after a stroke. So no, I won't be coming back, but my heart and my mind wants to so badly. It's terrible.
So hypothetically then, who would it be then? I mean, I know you said you wouldn't do it, but if you had the ability to do it, who would you like to get in there with one more time?
Probably Mia, just to right the wrong. I do feel like even now, because I'm further away from the stroke, I had just had the stroke and then I fought her. I feel like I have a little bit more strength back. But I like to set that record straight. That one hurts. I wouldn't say Layla because she's so damn big. She was too big when I was good mentally. So yeah, probably Mia. I mean, I think to me that's the safest person to get back in there with, if I were going to get back in.
That's the Warriors mentality right there. I like that. You want to get in there and get that get back. I love it.
Yeah, gotta get the get back.
There's a lot of fighters coming out of retirement. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but they're doing it. And they're outselling the current fighters. Mike Tyson was the highest selling pay-per-view earner. Like that's insane. But at the same time, it says a lot about the current fighters not getting a lot of publicity, whatever it is. The popularity just isn't there like that. Christy, do you how far do you think you are from maybe getting some type of television deal, like getting some of your fighters on TV or something like that?
I'm talking with Jimmy Birchfield, actually, up in the Northeast, about maybe a UFC Fight Pass date coming soon. but again, like I said, I'm really still looking for that one fighter that I can like make the face of my promotions and really get behind. And I've just recently signed Victorino Gonzalez from Myrtle Beach and Jonathan Pierre from over in Vero Beach. So that's two young guys. I have a young kid out of West Virginia, my home state, Anthony Sevilla, that I'm really excited about. He hurt his wrist, so he had a little bit of a setback, but I'm hoping that we'll be able to get him on the show in April and maybe even do something in West Virginia before that.
Yeah, you need a Hispanic Causin Panic. Okay, I think that's what you need, Christy.
I do. Yeah. And my Florida card, February 12th, is filled with lots of Puerto Rican fighters, and Vic is a Puerto Rican fighter. So there I have it. Actually, I have a Hispanic Causin Panic already.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, and actually in Orlando, Vic February 12th will be fighting Benny Gonzalez. It's Victorino Gonzalez will be fighting Benny Aguilar. Benny is Mexican, so we're going to have that Mexican Puerto Rican rivalry going on, and I think a lot of fireworks. That's going to be a really great fight.
That's always a good fight, no matter what.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So how's your health doing, Christy? Now you mentioned the stroke. I know it's been a while back, but sometimes people carry some of the effects of having a stroke. Is your health doing a lot better now? Oh,
a lot better. Just as tonight, I'm tired. I've been gone all day. I flew in from Myrtle Beach this morning. So, tired. My brain takes a little longer to think, and I'm a little slower. But and my vision is screwy. I have double vision without my glasses. I wear glasses now with a prism, so I see only one of things. But for the most part, I mean, God has blessed me. I'm able. I take care of myself. I'm up. I'm running. I get to the gym when I can. I'm able to keep on keeping on.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I'm glad to hear that.
Thank you.
Yeah, most definitely. A lot of love from the chat. Shout out to Christy Martin. I want to ask you one more question myself. Have you heard anything about the Hall of Fame, or is there going to be a ceremony, or are you still in the dark on that?
To be honest with you, I mean, it's supposed to happen in June, but I don't think it's going to. I really don't. New York is not opening up, and we all know what the Hall of Fame weekend's like. It's about putting the fans in the same space with the fighters, and we can't be in each other's space. So in some ways, it's almost like, well, if we could wait one more year, but I don't want to be inducted with 3 classes. I don't know. It's a tough one. I mean, I was excited when Ed Brophy called me to tell me that in 2020 I would be inducted, and then when he called me to tell me it was canceled, I cried. I didn't cry when he said I was in, like tears of happiness and like relief, I guess. But when he called to tell me it was canceled, I was like, you got to be kidding me. And I remember thinking then, I'm like, you never know about who's going to be here, who's not going to be here, to enjoy that day with you or that weekend with you. And I lost my brother in November, and my brother passed, and so he won't be there with me, and it's going to hurt a lot to not have him there. And he would have been had I been inducted or had the ceremony in June 2020.
Yeah.
Well, sorry for your loss, of course.
Yeah.
Sorry for your loss. But I do got to tell you, though, when listening to you speak in the way that you refer to these fighters, in the way that you refer to yourself, your reactions when the ceremony got canceled, the way you carried yourself throughout your entire career, the excitement that you put in your fights, I got to tell you, and this is not because you're here. I wish a lot of young male fighters will have that same mentality and that hunger and that, I guess, the desire to have a better legacy for themselves, other than just, I'm undefeated with 16. Let me go get a big payday and then sell my you know what I mean?
You're absolutely right. I mean, that's to me is so much about what it's about now, is protecting that O. And just think back in the 70s and the 80s, when you had all, in the 70s you had all those light heavyweights fighting each other, and in the 80s, and you had the Hagwood and Duran and Leonard and Hearns and all those guys. They fought each other, and you know what? If they lost, that's fine. They got up and they fought the other one. So now we don't see that kind of round robin too many times, or those trilogies. It's a very limited few guys that will actually, maybe they just can't lace up their boots and do it. Not like those guys did in those days.
Somebody should have said that to Lucia Riker. It's okay if you lose, you know, it's not a big deal.
Man, are you kidding me? Really? She pulled out of more fights than I fought. And I fought 60.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I like it.
That's right. Hey, I'm telling you guys, this is what I like about her.
I'm telling you, man, she's ready.
You know
Man.
what?
She's ready.
Like it is. I'm not even like talking shit. I'm just telling you the truth. She pulled out of a lot of fights. We had signed, to fight for $1 million. And like 7 or 10 days, I can't remember now, before the fight, I got a call from Bob Arum's office, and they said the fight's canceled. Lucia was injured. She ruptured her Achilles tendon. I'm like, what? And so I called the gym where she was training, and they're like, oh, what do you mean? She walked out of here last night. And you don't walk out anywhere after you rupture your Achilles tendon. And so I told her at the press conference before her injury, I was like, it's like this, Lucia. You're like the dog who chased the car. What's he going to do when he catches the car? Now you've caught me. What are you going to do with me? And you know what she did? She turned and ran away. That's what she did.
Wow.
Man,
oh, wow.
I want to fight. See, you guys did this to me.
Hey, man. You don't know how much I appreciate that there, because one thing we've noticed also, and I know you're tired, but one thing I've noticed also is today's young prospect do not fight each other in the same way that female prospect are fighting each other. And my whole thing is like, man, guys, we got to get with the program. We got to stop. We got to leave aside this Floyd Mayweather syndrome of I'm ADA side and I got to keep my own,
Right.
So I appreciate what you're saying here and the way you're expressing yourself. Yeah. I really do.
Thank you. I hate the A and B side. Like the guys will be like, when I'm making matches or I'm calling for my own fights, oh, I'm on the A side or the B side. I'm like, what does it matter? You're both getting in the ring, bell rings, everybody's going to get it. It's just going to be you two. So,
Wow.
That's way at that time.
Even on that level, wow, they're still
acting. Oh my God, it's worse than that. It's so funny because you're right. At that level, you would think it wouldn't be a thing, but I think it's worse.
It's a thing. Wow.
Talk Christy, about have you taken a trip down to Mexico to see if you can find us the next Terrible Morales or Marco Antonio Barreras? You never know.
I would love to find that fighter. Haven't been down there for a while, but yeah, that's a good idea.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah.
Another reason to hate COVID, right? So,
Sure as we can get
another reason to hate COVID.
We'll get it back up there.
Yeah. Well, Chris, I hope there's some type of, because you deserve, and the other fighters like Bernard Hopkins, there's other great fighters that deserve their shine, their time, and their own ceremony even. And all that. So I really do hope you get that. But I mean, you were a Hall of Famer the day you retired. So like everybody knew that, but finally women got inducted and then COVID showed up, but what are you going to do? Do you have any final words for us? Anything you'd like to, say before we let you go?
Just that, about the domestic violence awareness, if anybody has any issues out there, know somebody that needs some help, the crisis line is on my website, ChristyMartinPromotions.com. And we're there. We're on Facebook, Christys Champs, Facebook, Instagram, all the social medias, Twitter. Reach out to us if anybody that needs help. If you're out there and the person that needs help, reach out to us. Don't hesitate.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Yes, beautiful. Yeah.
Okay. And don't forget to buy the fight Saturday night, Mayhem in Myrtle Beach.
Definitely.
That is the correct website. I just want to confirm, right? That
it is. Yes. I think you have to download the app VYRE, that app, and then you go to boxingtv.com.
Okay. There you go. You know what I mean? And with that said, Christy, we do appreciate you coming on. We know you have a busy schedule. We know it's late for you, but you came on anyway. Okay, like a champion always does. We appreciate you.
Thank you, guys.
Salute
have a good
to the
night.
Hall of Famer.
Bye-bye.
Good luck in your entire career. I hope you find us a Morales and a Barrera all over again.
Send it my way, baby.
You deserve it.
Yeah.
Good night, guys.
Good night.
Good night.
Christy Martin, ladies.